This report of the year-long spaceholder training, week 3, comes in a little later than usual because I was in Brazil visiting land with Vera and Clinton for the Arkinversity project. The research that has been deepening kind of the bigger picture, the umbrella of the year-long spaceholder training this week was a conversation about matrix and the kind of matrix that we're building as spaceholder in the year-long spaceholder training. And we're talking about matrix because matrix is a substance in you that catches consciousness. So if you want to be able to create different results, building matrix that allows you to take more responsibility is one of the highest leverage point that you can imagine, especially building matrix at the level of culture and at the level of context, meaning at the level of what level of responsibility are you taking and what is the quality of, meaning what is the quality of the responsibility that you're taking. So in the year-long spaceholder training, it's contexted in radical responsibility, which means radical responsibility does not mean perfection. It means building the matrix that allows you to decide to take responsibility for the level of responsibility that you take or that is being taken in a space that you hold or game world that you hold space for. So it's building a certain kind of matrix that allows you to decide to choose the quality, the aliveness, the sensitivity of the spaces that you hold. And that's basically what we do in possibility management is we're building matrix at the fastest rate possible. Fastest also means resilient and organic, but definitely faster than a modern culture rate of evolution, which is basically happening mostly in crisis time, whether you get the hammer from the universe through divorce, or you lose your money, or at the moment of death, where there's sort of a awakening moment. So in the year-long spaceholder training, there was this conversation of there's a particular kind of matrix that we want to provide, matrix building practices and context that we want to provide participants, which is building matrix in this new culture of radical responsibility, of archiarchy. In the year-long spaceholder training, I'm interested in finding out how together, like how do we build a matrix that is interested in creating more matrix? So it's a self-regenerative, it's a regenerative matrix that, if you can compare it with like modern culture, in modern culture, you're taught to build a matrix that's defensive. Like, how can you best survive an environment of competition and comparison and a survival environment? So there's tons of skills that come with that matrix, and it's a defensive matrix that is also therefore the contrary of regenerative. So it's a consuming matrix in this orientation towards the world. Whereas in the year-long spaceholder training, I'm interested in how do spaceholders build a matrix that is interested, that is oriented towards wanting to build more matrix, meaning that is oriented towards discovery, that is oriented towards exploration of new human potential in oneself and in other people, that these potential and possibilities that are actually a threat to the box become more attractive than the defensiveness of the box that wants to survive. So it's in an idea, in a way to say it, it's like how to tip the balance of the orientation of the matrix between this matrix that you've built, or that they've built in modern culture, of I need to survive, towards and putting more weight into this matrix that say I want to discover, I want to be on the unknown, I want to have this aliveness, even and actually especially because I get to feel, and I get to feel consciously instead of being an emotional like in emotional loops, these patterns of the box, the gremlin, the different ego states that we know of. So this is part of this conversation and this research that we're doing in the year-long spaceholder training is together, what does it take to build a regenerative matrix, which then naturally would want to build a regenerative culture. And that means regenerative systems of people and mimetic infrastructure and infrastructure at large for human beings to live on this planet. In a couple of days, I'll send the report of next week. See you.